What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hold Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Babo. What's good with you?
Not much. Looking forward to once again another great episode, man. Shout out to the Netherlands. I see we got ranked over there this week, so shout out to y'all out there. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at Hold Husband Podcast. All right, too.
I also got my man SD in the building. What's good?
Nothing, man. Just here, ready to get the show on the road, man. But I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold Husband Podcast on Cash App and PayPal.
I also want to remind everybody, y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at thecore94.com. Tonight's episode is titled Put the Work In. We're going to be having a discussion about the things it takes to heal from heartbreak or failed relationships, and to put yourself in a space to be able to even establish or maintain a healthy relationship. So I'm looking forward to the dynamic, to the discussion a little bit later. But y'all know how we do it around here, man. I've been seeing some stuff on my timeline I couldn't wait to get to. So we're going to be discussing some of the stuff that we saw trending. So I had to start with, I hope this was trolling, but the guy with the 7 children that explains why he doesn't feel like he needs to provide for those children. We're not going to play all the clips because it's pretty lengthy, but we're gonna play the first one. Let's take a look.
I got 7 kids and 7 baby mamas. Now, for the past few days, I've been going live, telling my story, speaking my truth. And a lot of women having an issue calling me a deadbeat because I tell them I was being irresponsible, not wearing protection. But I always tell these women that I got pregnant that I do not want to be a father to these children. And I offer to pay for the abortion. Majority of times, they'll either take the abortion or they'll take a plan B. But only these 7 have kept these children. But the crazy thing about it is they want me to be responsible for some children I told them I did not want. So for some years now, some of them been trying to get in contact with me, access denied. Because I don't really know why you trying to get in contact with me. I done told you I did not want them kids. So don't expect me to be responsible financially, emotional, spiritually, mentally, or physically with some kids I do not want.
It's sad that there are dudes out there that honestly and genuinely feel like this. Me as a man, even as a child, I've always thought about fatherhood and thought about, what my family was going to be like. So I can't imagine being of the mind state where I know you're my biological child, but I don't have anything to do with you. To me, that's one of the wackest perspectives ever. So I couldn't even hang out with a dude like this without being disgusted. You know what I'm saying? But it's unfortunately there are probably women that are gonna end up baby mamas 7, 8, 9, and 10. You know what I'm saying? Because
Absolutely. You know how that go, man. But hey, man, you know what? I don't really like it. I don't like the fact that, when women don't want to be moms, they call heroes. A man that don't want to be a dad is called a deadbeat. And he's saying, hey, I'm telling them, yo, I don't want no kids.
But I understand that. I do. I understand the fact that how he feels. Yeah. But as a male, you have to be careful with your sperm, bro. You know the situation going in. You got lots of options. You know what I'm saying? So for him to choose to just go raw, shoot the club up, and then just be like, you blocked and no access, man, that's some bitch shit to me.
It is what it is. But listen, he's telling the women up front, I don't want no kids. I don't want nothing to do with the kids. Hey, I will pay for this if you want me. Now, is he irresponsible? Yep. Yeah. But guess what? These women are choosing to lay down with him. They are choosing to have sex with him unprotected, and then they are choosing to have his baby after he told them he did not want a kid. That's on you, the consequences of that. It's on you. Is he trash for what he's doing? Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, just the way
it's on both of them.
But the way he's going about it. But that's like telling you, hey, this game that you finna sit down and play is rigged for me to win. All right. Now you can sit down and play and bet $1,000, but you know it's rigged, and you sit down and play the game knowing that it's rigged and lose your $1,000. Don't be mad at the person that told you the game is rigged. Be mad at yourself for allowing yourself to sit down there and play the game, because you know the rules. It is what it is, man. The way I see it.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay?
That's a valid point. I mean, he's just irresponsible. Okay, if you didn't want to potentially have kids with this woman, I would say, hey, use contraception. Now, on the flip side of that, yes, the woman chose to lay down. She chose to bust it wide open for homie. But, you know, you should see this is a clear character flaw. Like they say, once is a coincidence, twice is a pattern, and 3 times is a habit. So this is clearly a habit that he has of doing this.
He's clear about it. It ain't like
it's like that. It's like, because you can't accident like, okay, the first once or twice you got somebody pregnant. At that point, as a man, you need to be moving different to prevent that from happening, to prevent the situation from even coming to a woman to have to decide. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think every dude that slept with lots of women has had some abortion or two. But a dude that's constantly having abortions and constantly having pregnancy scares, bro, that's on you. You know what I mean? Like, you moving reckless, in my opinion.
I mean, it's on him because he's creating kids or whatever the case. But in the ultimate grand scheme of things, it's on the women that's going to be stuck with the baby.
True.
Because he can tell them his name is Nook Nook. And he hit me. My name is Darren. Now you out here looking for a Darren and don't know who Darren is. He cannot get sex unless the women allow him to. I don't care what he want to do. He can want to sleep raw all he want to. He can want to skeet in this woman all he want to. But he can't do nothing unless she allows it. And she's allowing it, knowing how he is and that he don't want kids. Right. And then deciding to be a single mom. She's deciding to be a single mom. So don't be upset when this dude tell you, hey, I told you I didn't want no kids, because if the shoe was on the other foot and it was all guys and they said, I want these babies, and the women decided that they didn't want the babies, what can he do about it? Nothing. We would call them women no names for going to either terminate the pregnancy or give the kids away. They could drop them off at a fire station. They could drop them off at a police station. They could give them up for adoption without the man's knowledge or consent. So
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. On one side, you got women able to do whatever they want when they don't want the kids, to where they don't have to be a single parent, and they are praised for it. She's so strong. She's such a hero for what she's doing. But when a man come out and let them know ahead of time, I don't want a kid, and then follow that up with saying, hey, I'm not going to be, he said, financially responsible, emotionally there, or spiritually there, or any of those things before you go and have this kid now. And that woman chooses to do it for whatever her reasons is. I don't personally believe in abortions or anything like that, but I'm just saying there are other avenues out of that. That's on her.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ultimately both of them are responsible, but the person that suffers
created a life,
right?
Because they created a life. But like I said, the men, it's a double standard that we have to deal with as men. But in the end consequence of it is that the women suffer way more, because you could get stuck with this baby.
But that's why I think women should be more, like, when we have discussions about contraceptive and you know, promiscuous behavior. Yeah, women it impacts them more. So I think that they should be more cautious about who they have raw sex with. But you know, we responsible men, so we obviously are conscious of our behavior and the consequences of our actions. But we talk about it all the time. We've all been around guys on sports teams and military where they couldn't care less about who they impregnate.
Yeah, but
you gotta
hold your own. You gotta take your accountability as the man and as the woman. We let these women off the hook way too much, especially when it comes to stuff like this, because it's their choice. They're the ones that's going to be affected.
I mean, we talk about the women that are the statistics, four babies, four baby daddy, and all that. Like, we talk about those women all the time because those are the extremely undesirable women or the husband material men we talk about. So we do give them the accountability or whatnot. But you're right.
I'm talking social media as a whole.
Yeah, true.
Social media is just going to call him a deadbeat. If you go look at the comments, he's a loser, he's a deadbeat, he's this and that. And it's nothing, that's majority of the comments. Majority of them ain't saying, hey, why all these women are letting this man hit raw? Why all these women decide to have these babies and barely know this man or whatever the case, knowing this man is this and that? You don't have that kind of accountability a lot on social media like it should be.
But that's here's the thing, fellas. Think about this for a second. He has 7 kids with these women. How much y'all willing to bet that these women have kids with other dudes other than him?
I can bet it.
I would say it's very likely. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a shit show situation all around. You know what I mean? But like, at least we got to discuss it. You know what I mean? Talk about the importance so other guys can see this. Young fellas out there, this is definitely not how you want to move, because child support and just by doing what's right, you know what I'm saying, raising the child, because we know the statistics on a child without their father in their life, boy or girl.
Yeah, you know what he said it's more that they done had abortions and all that. Like it could, who knows how many kids this dude would have had. Yeah, like I'm 41 years old and I ain't hit 7 women raw. I don't know what this dude doing. He's disgusting. Like, bro, how you hitting all these ladies raw, man? What's wrong with you?
Man, I know dudes that never wear rubbers. So it's crazy. Man, let's keep the ball rolling, man, before we get our next video that we're going to talk about is a video that we saw where a woman is explaining how simple it is for women to read men that they're involved with. Let's take a listen.
It's simple. He don't like you. He don't call you. He don't like you. He don't keep his word. He don't like you. He's inconsistent. He has someone else. He only calls you when he wants something. He's using you. He starts random arguments. He's cheating on you. He's not investing in you. You're not worth the investment. Never met his family. You're not the one. Been with your guy 5+ years. No ring. No marriage. He's still searching. You're a placeholder. Men are not complicated. They're very easy to know. Men don't talk with their words. They talk with their actions. Let's go, Nat Nation. Be smart, date smart, choose wisely. And remember, I told you. It's simple. He don't like you. He don't call you. He don't like you. He don't keep his word. He don't like you. He's inconsistent. He has someone else. He only calls you when he wants something. He's using you. He starts random arguments. He's cheating on you. He's not investing in you. You're not worth the investment. Never met his family. You're not the one. Been with your guy 5+ years. No ring. No marriage. He's still searching. You're a placeholder. Men are not complicated. They're very easy to know. Men don't talk with their words. They talk with their actions. Let's go, Nat Nation. Be smart, date smart, choose wisely. And remember, I told you.
Now, when I see videos like this, I see more great marketing than I do solid, thorough advice. She wasn't talking in cliches, but she was very close to what I would call pandering. You know what I mean? There's some truth to some of the things she said, but a lot of it is assumptions that I think a lot of women use to make bad dating decisions. There could be a logical explanation why a man hasn't proposed or married a woman in a 5-year period. That doesn't mean that you're automatically a placeholder or that he doesn't have plans to marry you. It could be the woman that's the reason that he's not married her at that time. So, whenever you see these type of videos where it's everything that she named is a negative, you know what I'm saying? Like it's the first negative assumption that comes to a woman's brain, and they rock with it and treat it as if it's fact. and that's a problem within itself.
Yeah, man. Some of that stuff I agree with, man. When she like, yo, if he ain't calling you, he ain't trying to see you, he being whatever, she inconsistent or whatever it is. But most times, you know what I'm saying? When we really like a chick, we hitting her up. We trying to see her. We ain't being inconsistent. We text you, hey, what you doing? I'm drinking some water. Oh, be careful, babe. Don't swallow too hard. Don't swallow too hard, baby. I don't want you to hurt your esophagus. You know what I'm saying? We concerned. We own her. We putting some type of pressure there, even if it's just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Even when I like a chick, I ain't really going no day without reaching out.
Yeah, I agree.
Saying, what's up? Or trying to see you at some point in time, depending if we in the same city or not in the same city or whatever. I'm like, yo, when I'm gonna see you? How I'm gonna see you? I'm keeping that communication and that want to do things with you there. Like, so I feel that. Like, that's like I tell men all the time, right? If you got to jump through hoops to get to know a woman, go out with a woman, talk to a woman, whatever the case, she don't really like you like that. Because a guy that women really like, you ain't got to do none of that. You ain't got to jump through no hoops. She going to hit you up in the morning. Grand Rising, King. She going to hit you up. So it's kind of the same thing, man. When we interested in somebody, we show them or let them know that we are interested in them in some sort of way through our actions and our effort that we use.
Well, yeah, that's true though. When you're talking about like the initial dating phase and but when she went from that and she jumped straight to like making life decisions.
Relationship.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like, whoa, time out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need more explanation. You need more real life examples. You need more than just a one sentence phrase to explain situations like this, because as a man that's been married for a long time, I've seen majority of the people that I know that have been married or divorced. And so I see a lot of the dating mistakes. I see a lot of people marrying people they're not actually compatible with, and a lot of people that handle dating situations based off emotions and assumptions. And those are usually bad things to formulate your life decisions.
I'll tell you, when you explain those things, you actually put, context behind it. Well, she's just making these vague generalities and no context behind. So here's the thing. How are you supposed to be successful in a relationship if you're going under these assumptions and vague generalities, or you even go into a situation with a negative disposition like that? How are you supposed to have a successful, healthy relationship there?
I don't think you can.
But I mean, but what she's saying is it's like no healthy relationship with like that beginning part, because he being inconsistent. He's not contacting her. He's not reaching out. He's not trying to go out. That's not a healthy relationship, like in the beginning phase. But if you talk about the one where she said 5 years and he ain't married you yet, you not the one, stuff like that. Like, I mean, everybody got their different time frames, right? We all have known people that got married in their 6th or 7th year of being together or whatever the case. Like, I think it's foolish for a woman to be with a dude 5 years and he's actually a good man, and then you up and leave him because you believe in your mind that he's not just going to marry you or whatever the case. Like, I think it's crazy, because now you got to go out there and try and find another dude.
Start from square zero.
Yeah, who you hope will be a good man like him and will marry you within your time frame. I think that's a horrible move, but people do it all. Women do it all the time. Go ahead.
But it's across the board for both men and women. Let's just say, okay, on your iMessage, if you have too much blue, that's never a good sign. That's across the board for both men and women.
If you got too much what?
Too much blue on your iMessage.
What does too much blue mean? I mean, I know the different colors. I don't pay that much attention to it like that, but
too much blue?
Too much blue.
What that mean?
When on iMessage, when you text, it shows in blue. It's highlighted in blue when you text on iMessage.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you mean texting and you're not getting no responses?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like every woman got dudes like that. Yeah, but see, those are dudes that be in the chicks' DMs, talking to themselves. You know what I'm saying? Sending pictures and all that. I would never be the dude that that put myself out there to get screenshot and put on. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you got to be able to read the energy. So, like you said, there is some truth on a man is going to directly express his interest in a woman. That's the only way a man's gonna have success.
Of course.
And from a male perspective, when it comes to meeting a woman, shit, it's already established that you like her. You got to figure out if the feeling is mutual. And from a logical standpoint, the sooner you can find that out, the better. So if a woman don't like you, shit, at least I found out in the first 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of 2 weeks later or something to that effect. So guys that can deal with the rejection gonna have better results.
Yeah, I can. I've been rejected all my life. Talking to so many women, man, you get rejected a lot. You get used to it. It is what it is, man. I don't care.
You're probably gonna get more rejected than you are successful most of the time if you talk to enough women.
But see, the thing about rejection, though, you know, and like I was just saying, so I was just talking about how women make a lot of assumptions. Guys do too. A lot of guys react negatively to rejection when that's not necessary. I didn't hit lots of chicks that curved me or rejected me initially. You know what I'm saying? It could have been she had a boyfriend at the time. Could have been she just broke up with her boyfriend at the time. Could you know what I'm saying? Like there were lots of reasons why she didn't accept my invitation at that particular time. So time is always
count that as a rejection though. If she got a boyfriend, I don't really count that as a rejection because she got a man. Now, if she tell me she ain't got a man and she just don't want my number, like, okay, now that's a rejection. But if she like, yo, yeah, I got a man, it's like, oh, okay, it's all good. You know what I mean? I get it. But I don't count
well, some dudes will take that, like, fuck you then, bitch, you ain't even getting anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, they pop off over it.
That's just lame as hell, like, for real.
I used to get rejected a lot in my younger years. Now, because I don't talk to as many women now that I used to, because I was all about quantity then. Now it's about quality, so I don't really approach women unless I can feel that. You know what I'm saying? Like out on the street, I just approach them. But if I send a chick a DM, which is rare, I'm feeling something there to where my success rate would be pretty high. You know, if I did.
So nowadays, you going out on Sunday fun day or something, how many women do you approach on a just general day out with your partners?
Man, generally none.
None?
While I'm out, like I don't really see no chicks like that. Like the last time I went out with my boys, it was a different crowd. I'll put it like that. And the women, I just didn't find them attractive. So I had about 4 or 5 of them come up to me, but I just wasn't attracted to them like that. You know, it was odd because of the dynamic of the crowd. But you know, man, it just. You know, there's too many 4s walking around here, man. I ain't talking to no 4s. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
like, do they spark a conversation with you? They be like, "Hey, I like your cologne or something. What are you wearing?" And then spark a conversation that way.
Or my clothes, or my clothes. You know what I got on. You know I have on a hat or something like that, or you know my beard coming in real nice now. You know what I mean? You know they try to
start off with the compliment. Compliment
like,
sandwich. Always a great way to start it off.
It was actually weird because that ain't something that happens a lot. So when I went out that one time, the dynamic of women that was doing it, I was like, what's going on around here? Is the feds watching me or something? You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, these women coming up to me. It was really odd because it don't happen that much. So, you know.
Man, you dropping too much gems on the gram there.
Hey, man, I don't know them. They don't know me. So.
All right, man. Look like we up against the clock. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into our topic of the night. Put in the work. We're gonna be talking about how to overcome past relationship failures to put yourself in a position to have a healthy relationship. You are tuned in to the How to Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hold a Husband podcast. We have our special guest for the night. We have Sabrina Parr on the line. How you doing, Sabrina?
I am doing great. Such an honor to be here with three gentlemen. I can't wait.
Well, we definitely appreciate you taking the time to come on. Before we get into the conversation, can you let our viewers know a little bit about you, your background, so that they can see where you're coming from with your perspective?
Yeah, so as you already said, my name is Sabrina Parr. I go by Get Up to Parr on social media. I am a mindset coach. I do life coaching. I also do fitness coaching. I have a very strong fitness background. That's pretty much how I got started. And I just noticed with a lot of clients and just peers, they always had the same issue, struggling with their mindset, and it was very hard for them to be consistent and focused on fitness when, the mentality piece was not there. So that has been my main focus moving forward. I offer one-on-one coaching, and I have a lot of different products, ebooks, and just a lot of self-development things. And I'm all about empowerment.
All right, that's what's up. Tonight's episode is titled Put in the Work, because we often see people talking about you need to put in the work, you need to heal, you need to do these type of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so you mentioned a little bit in your intro how you got into coaching. Was that something you've always done? Have you always given advice to people, or was there a specific thing that triggered or moved you to become a life coach?
So I've always been somewhat of a coach, even when I wasn't supposed to. When I was a student athlete in high school, they nicknamed me Coach Parr because I was always in a role of leadership. And I just became the go-to girl when anyone, especially my homegirls, had like relationship issues, how do I focus on this? How do I get through this? How are you so strong? And, I just thought it was my gift, and it was just something that people gravitated towards me to use. And so over the years, I've just been doing it, not knowing like this can become a thing. And I most recently made it a thing because, I was like, you know what, I might as well, capitalize on it and really focus on helping people in this area.
Okay. Hey, so I got a question real quick. How do you define healthy relationships?
Wow. Well, healthy relationships, in my opinion, involves two healthy individuals that come together. I personally don't think it works if one person is healthy and one person is not. And it includes, physical health, healthy communication. And that looks different for everyone's situation. Healthy conversations involving finances, sex. It seems like couples don't like to talk about sex. They just want to do it. But being comfortable in talking about these things and having the same values and understanding when it comes to children, religion, things of that nature.
So do you say physical? Do you say physical health because your physical health makes you also mentally feel better about yourself? It helps you mentally when you're physically feeling good about yourself. Is that why you say physical health as far as a healthy relationship goes?
I just think that, it's important for two people to be cognitive of being healthy, right? Like we can't just ignore that our bodies need certain things in order for it to function properly, right? And I've seen relationships become very one-sided where somebody is really healthy and somebody is like the most unhealthy person, and it brings the other person down, or guess what? That person has to become a caretaker for that person. Right. Yeah. So like just having a general understanding of, okay, we don't have to be, vegan, but let's just be cognitive of what we're doing so that we can eliminate some things that may happen if we're not healthy.
There you go.
And then obviously what you said, because, I feel better when I look better. I look better when I'm exercising and eating properly. So.
Why do you think couples are afraid to talk about sex? Even though they want to do it.
You know what? I just think it's just that uncomfortable conversation where
Yeah.
maybe they don't want to offend the other person. And I'll be
Right.
honest, I'm just not shy, and I had a very tough conversation with my ex because, I was engaged to him and we were months away from getting married. So it's like, I need to know your sexual appetite before I can agree to if I can fulfill it. Like if I don't know what
That's
it takes,
interesting.
like if I don't know what it
I've
takes.
never really heard women say that. So like
Oh
they just
no,
kind of
like
assume that
women
he's
sign
gonna be
up.
happy because
Yeah, and I'm like, or they're like, oh, I'm tired and I got these kids now. And it's like, let me tell y'all, the kids, the jobs, none of that changes him wanting to have sex. He wants it. He doesn't care and he wants it now. So if this is why I feel like dating is so vital to, being able to say I do or I don't. But I had a very tough conversation with my ex and I wanted to know who his favorite, and I didn't need to know like her name, but I wanted to know like who did you enjoy sex with the most out of your life and why? And what was she doing? And describe that and show it to me, because if I can't even add up to what she was doing, I may be in trouble. Or if I'm like, okay, that's too much for me, I'll never be able to do that, then I need to reconsider changing my partner. But that's just like being real. And it's like, I don't want to be the girl that's like having sex and then I got to run in the bathroom and fulfill myself because I'm too scared to tell him you didn't get me off. So we need to talk about it. I need to teach you what I like, teach you what works so that
he should be interested in that though.
Yeah, but you'll be surprised that some men are not going to speak up. They're not going to ask because women, I had to learn, like, depending on the men, especially rich men that are used to getting women don't challenge them. They don't say anything negative. So if something is not going right, they're just happy to be there. So they're like, and so
that's why I was gonna say a lot of those men, they struggle with the personality part, because they ain't gotta do nothing. They've been famous or popular their whole life.
Nothing. And I remember my ex telling me, like, you're the first person that ever even told me what you liked. And I'm like, what has all these women been doing all these years with you? Like, he was like laying there and pleasing me,
Pleasing him. Yeah.
So I think that, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just asked, like, when you had those conversations, just like how those conversations go. Did y'all come to some kind of resolution? Did y'all meet in the middle somewhere?
Yes. So that particular conversation was trying to help me understand what he really liked. And it actually like turned us on. He was so turned on to the fact that I can talk about a girl from my past and you're not upset, And he was also turned on by the idea that like I'm trying to figure out what you like so that I can fulfill this need for you, Or if I say like I'm not doing all that, like she's call her, but like
she licked what?
It wasn't anything that was too much for me. So I was like, okay, but guess what? I would have never known if I didn't ask. So I just wish that people would be friends first. I think if you're friends, that conversation may not be as uncomfortable. I think when you just hook up because you're attracted and you like each other and that's just that, then you kind of skipped the friendship phase of it.
But it's interesting to see that you were willing to ask that question and not have it be like a trap door for a man. You know what I'm saying? Like a woman asking.
Well, I wasn't even supposed to. I kind of overheard him talking to his homeboy, and I remember him. I remember screaming out like, "If y'all gonna talk about this, you might want to go outside," like. And so his boy was like, "She can hear us." He like, "Why would you have it on speakerphone?" But then afterwards, I was like, okay, so you mentioned a girl, it wasn't me. And then he thought he was in trouble. He was like, no, babe, like, you're the best. And I was like, all right, I already heard it wasn't my name. That's cool. But tell me what she was doing. Show me so I can add that to my arc. I can add that.
Yeah, that's definitely the right attitude to have, because a lot of times on my page, we'll have discussions about that, like people, where you talk about fantasizing or fantasies and things of that nature. And I remember one particular post where I put up where I was saying like one of the best ways to have an orgasm is to fantasize about one of your favorite sexual experiences. And people were like, oh, that's so disrespectful. I'm like, man, that's the whole point of role playing. You're mentally preparing or playing something else that ain't real. So I think that's the best way to nut personally. And I would encourage in my whole days before I was married, having those type of conversations where you're asking a woman about her first orgasm or her favorite orgasm, and what do you think about when you put your lips on the dick? You know what I'm saying? Like asking like real intimate questions. That's how you become a hoe, fellas. It's those kind of back-to-back questions that you come to mind when them panties get wet.
You really got to be comfortable with yourself and your relationship, man, to ask me. Because the chicks I done talked to in the past, man, I couldn't even go to the same restaurant that I took another woman to, let alone tell her about another woman that was giving me sloppy top or something like that. Like, and for you to ask,
I'm really comfortable with myself. And I'm secure. Man. Like, I was secure with myself. I'm the type that I'm like, listen, if I'm not his type, I'm cool with that. You know, I'm not going to try to become something that he wants me to be. Like, I'm not for everybody and everybody is not for me. So I'm very secure with myself. And guess what? When I'm having insecure moments, I can voice that. Like, babe, I'm not really feeling my body right now, you know, especially after having kids, you know, and I'm communicating this to try to get some support in that area instead of like bleeding all out on him. And he's like, man, this girl is crazy, you know, like, I don't know what to do with her. So, but with the initial comments you said, Terry, as far as like doing the work, this is all included with the work. Like, don't get into a relationship when you're insecure, when you can't talk about his ex without getting emotional or feeling like he's doing something wrong, or like you just said, go to the same restaurant. I may make a joke out of it. Like, yeah, let's go to the restaurant and post a picture and make her mad. You know, like, we here now, sis, you know, like, or whatever. Like, but you have to do enough work to be confident and comfortable and secure with yourself so that he's not feeling like I'm doing something wrong just because I'm existing.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, so a lot of you mentioned women that date rich men. And we see the conversation on social media, high value man, a man got to earn this certain amount. And so a large percentage of women are after a very small percentage of the dating pool. And so
I'm one of those women.
Right. So do you think it's a lot of those women that have these dreams of doing a story in the Rolls Royce and all that type of stuff? Do you think their perspective on wanting a man to spoil them and shower them with the lavish lifestyle is actually conducive to a healthy relationship?
No, it's not. I mean, I'm speaking from experience. Now, unless you were getting this money with him and you was down from the beginning and, you know, it was one of those shooting in the gym with him stories, like, I think that a lot of these quote unquote high valued men have lost respect in general for women because more women gravitate towards them simply because of what they have to offer, you know. And in my younger days, you know, I used to, so, you know, all sorts of guys were attracted to me, but it seemed like the men that had money were more aggressive in pursuing me. They were just more confident in pursuing me. And I remember I used to try to eliminate spending money just to see how creative they can get. And I remember it was a ball player, and I was like, call me when you think of something we can do that don't cost nothing. And he was losing his mind because he was like, we can't eat, we can't. And I'm like, we can eat. I'm like, we might have to eat at the house. And so it took him so long. He eventually was like, well, you want to go play basketball? And I was like, let's do it. And we had the best time, you know, like we were building a friendship. We had a good time. And I was like, why was it so hard for you to find something to do? And he was like, because most women just want me to do this. And I was like, yeah. But if the well runs dry, I still need to like you. Like, I still need to find some interest in you. And so I just think that because women have kind of messed the game up. It's like, oh, he's rich. I want it. I want what he can offer. The man is like, I know she wants what I'm offering. I ain't got to treat her a certain way. Like, this is enough for her and she should be good. And that money gives him control. So
it's a lot of horrible men with money.
Yeah. And guess what? Like, there's a lot of great men that may not be as financially stable yet, and that's why I think it's important to ask certain questions, on the date. But the whole facade of, he got all this money and all these things that are his. All of these things belong to him. They're not yours. So, and then you add yourself to it, they're still not yours. Like, you might have some limited access to them. And then once you're married, you have a little bit more access to them. But the things you really want access to, his heart, his mind, his loyalty, you haven't even tapped into that because you've only seen what he's put out there. And that's not for everybody. There are some women that's like, no, I don't want to work. I don't want to do anything. I want to just be taken care of. That may be good for them. That personally does not work for me. Yeah. So I need to really get to know your character.
So 2 parts here. You said those men tend to be a little more disrespectful or something like that towards women when they got a lot of money. But yes. You also said that you're one of those women who want one of those men. So why do you want one of those men? And what is the hardest thing for getting one of those men to like get into a relationship with you? Good question.
Okay, so the first part, the reason why I want one of those men is because I am one of those women. So I am not the woman that is just going to sit at home and eat up all your money, right? Like, I am high value. I'm bringing a lot into the table. Like I said in the beginning, like, a relationship works both ways. It has to be a balance. So what the areas that you lack, more than likely, I'm gonna do very well in those areas. Whether you make more money than me or not, I'm gonna always allow you to make more. I'm gonna teach you how to make more. I'm gonna add so much more value to your life. And so sometimes dating a guy that's not financially stable is very insecure and intimidated by a woman like me. I've experienced it. Like, he's not happy that he can't provide for me in the way that other men may have. And that doesn't make a healthy relationship for me. Because then I'm spending so much time trying to stroke your ego, make you feel comfortable, not be too much, when that's really just who I am, And so I found, because of my personality, my motivation, and just my drive, I fit better with a man that has that motivation, has that drive, and just really has sought out to be successful financially. And then the second part of your question was, what's the hardest part about getting that type of man? I just think that, and I don't know if y'all Googled me or searched me, like, they're so easy for me.
We did our research.
Okay, so they're easy for me to come by. They're easy for me to personally to come by because of my personality. Like, sometimes I pay these men no mind, and they're intrigued. They're trying to figure out, why does she not see me? Like, why is she not acting like all the other girls? And there's a guy I've been, I'm not going to say dating because that's a serious thing, but getting to know. And every so often he just like gets an attitude and blocks me. I don't even know it's happening until he unblocks me or like he unfollows me and then follows me back. And I'm like, oh, you unfollow me? But then he'll say like, you just really be having me in my feelings because you're not really giving me the attention that I need.
Really?
And I'm like, but
is that a turn on? I mean,
no, I hate that. I think it's childish, and I need him to stop doing that.
You ain't blocked him yet?
No, I mean, I don't be having a reason to block him.
I think that's one. I mean, because like it's childish.
But that's why I said, like, I'm not dating him. I'm getting to know him. These are things I'm getting to know. But that also helps me learn about me. What parts of my personality is making him get in his feelings, right? And it allows me to gauge, okay, do I want to do more of that or do I want to do less of that? And then it also shows me how much control as a woman that I have. So if I know this really agitates him, then I'll learn, this really going to turn him on. And then I can leverage that power and get what I want.
Very smart. Man, you very wise. I'm very glad. I'm impressed. I really am. You said a couple of things that stood out that are very rare. And so whenever you meet a woman like you can have a conversation with it, and you feel like, man, we've been knowing each other for years, type of vibe.
Yeah.
So I can definitely. You're already cute, so a good conversation.
Thank you.
You already hitting the check marks. So I wanted to kind of switch the conversation a little bit to try to see if we can help our female viewers have a little bit more success. What tips or strategies do you have that the women can use to improve their flirting game, or to get the courage to actually shoot their shot at a man?
Okay, yeah, because I'm a shooter. Like,
you in the gym? Okay,
I am in the gym. I love to shoot. But it might be a nice little layup. It's not like I'm not shooting from
half court.
I'm not shooting from half court. But you're gonna see the shot. You're gonna notice it. But I think ladies fail to like play up what they're good at, or like play up what their good attributes are. So like for me, I know I speak very well. So I may want him to hear me talk because I know, this is going to turn him on. Like whatever you have that is one of your best attributes, use that. Like it's attractive. Like stop trying to look like everybody else. Look like the best you. Like I have a very unique look. Like my hair is natural. I don't wear weave. But I play that up. So I'm gonna have the best short hair on me. And that will stand out. So whatever that is, only the woman in herself can figure that part out. But men love like real authenticity. They love it.
Did you figured this out on your own, or somebody schooled you?
I figured this out. And then you know what I do? Like I don't really have beef with my exes, so like I go back and like ask questions. Like, well, why did you do this? Or what happened with this? And like that one time I put you out, why did you come back? Like I gain information to know like what was it about me, good or bad. And some of the bad stuff is hard to listen to, but it's like, okay, I need to know this because I need to fix this because, these things need to be changed in order for me to be qualified for the man that I truly want. Like women don't understand, like sometimes you're not ready for the man God has for you. You still got some work to do. So I know everybody wants to say, I'm the catch, it's lit over here. They're going to love it over here. He if he don't commit to me, he a fool, but like, baby, you're not perfect. There are still some areas we got to work on, like, especially Black women, our mouths are crazy. Like the man you really want may not allow you to talk to him like that. And he may not say nothing. He may just go outside and cheat with the girl who ain't saying nothing. But in his mind, he may be like, man, I can't get down with how she speaks to me. So there are still areas that I need to hear so I can learn from them. And then I just pay attention to a man's body language, so how he responds to me. I look at how they look at me, especially when I'm in public places. And so this lets me know like, oh, that kind of irritated him, or like, oh, he likes that, and I just mentally do a chart. So when I put it all together, when I'm getting ready to shoot my shot, it's a great shot because I already know what they're looking for. And then I don't have to say much.
It sounds like your philosophy is very similar to how successful men operate.
I get it all the time. Like, you just like a man.
So basically, you tell a woman, use your greatest strength to your advantage, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but you have to figure out what that strength is. And it's not sex, my cooking. Guess what? Every girl has a vagina. Every girl can cook a meal. Every girl gonna clean up. That can't be your selling pitch. Because most of these men have made, want to eat out. Huh?
Yeah, they got that stuff taken care of already.
Right, like they've handled that. So like, what are the things you can offer to him that he can't technically pay for? And you have that in you. You got to figure out what that is. Like, I know I offer friendship. Like, you're going to have a great time with me. You're going to trust me. I'm loyal. You're going to run to me maybe before you run to your boy to talk about whatever, and it does help that I'm really into sports. So we can have that dynamic. Like, you don't have to always leave me out the room to watch Bron play, I'm interested, and I'm not going to aggravate you because I don't know what a 3-point is, so like I can connect with you on your level. And guess what? If you're into something I don't know, I'm going to try to learn it so we can connect.
Ask questions. Yeah. See, you get it, man.
Why you do this? Like, I hate golf, right? I was dating a guy that all he did was golf. So I was like, listen, I'm about to start golfing because you ain't about to leave me every day. So let me, and he loved that. He was like, yes, let me teach you. Let me buy you the cute little golf clothes, and it became a bonding thing. So I just really think understanding what you're good at, how to play that up, and use that as your advantage would be my number one tip.
Yep. So you say your greatest attribute is your friendship to somebody is your greatest attribute.
Well, one of them. Like, I know that works in my favor. I know, like, my guy will find a homeboy in me. Like, I know that already.
And he can bring you around as people. You know what I mean? Like, just the kind of vibe you can tell a woman that a man can build a home with. Like, you remind me a lot of the stuff you're saying reminds me of kind of like my wife's mentality. Like how if me and my friends are kicking it, she'll facilitate. She'll go fix some drinks and bring some snacks and do little stuff like to where I don't have to. It's just like she's reading the room and figuring out how to make things right. Ladies, take notes. Hit rewind if necessary because she's dropped lots of gems. I don't want to keep you all night. I know you taking time out your busy schedule. So it looks like we are up against the clock. But before we got out of here, I wanted you to, can you let everybody know how they can find your content, how they can book a session, etc.?
Oh, everything is in my bio on my Instagram page. Again, that's Get Up to Par. That's Par with 2 R's. I have all the information there. And I also am always in my DM. So if you email me, I will respond. If you DM me, I will respond as long as it's appropriate. And then all the links on my website will take you exactly to where you need to go. And I do have like a 20-minute consultation for those who are kind of like up against the fence, like, what is a coaching call? What are you going to offer to me? Why do I need this? And within that 20 minutes, we'll figure out if you and I are a good fit for each other.
All right. Well, I really enjoyed the conversation. I would love to have you back. I wanted to pick your brain a little bit more. But before we get up out of here, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us late with our background audio. I want to remind y'all to continue supporting the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. Sabrina, again, this is one of my favorite interviews. So I'm looking forward to the social media reaction. And Jay, SD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up so we can get this knocked out, man. This has been another episode of the Ho to Husband podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Bye.